Hello, my YouTube friends, and thank you very much for following me and helping with my journey. Right, so in my previous video, I talked about my 4 rules, and I want to talk more about them in this video because I think before going on any transformation, it's very, very important to set yourself on a journey where you can follow and you can be consistent and you can be determined. So, I'll point out my 4 rules. You might find that you want to follow some of them and create some more for yourself. These are rules which I followed, not from the beginning. I'll tell you my mistakes. Some of them I did follow, some of them I didn't follow, some of them I created later on in my journey. But I'll explain all of them to yourselves. It's your choice which ones you pick. So, I think the first rule is to remove any blockage from your brain. So, rule number 1, remove your brain blockage. Why that's important? I had certain blockages in my brain. So, for example, in the first phase, I thought I cannot swim. I don't know how to swim. And for me, it's embarrassing to swim with any floats. I'm too old. What will kids say? You have to get rid of all of that. You have to think that this is what you want to achieve. I had in my mind I couldn't do deadlifts. I could do pull-ups, push-ups. When you actually push yourself, that's when you realize that you can actually do it. I had a similar brain blockage about running. I thought the maximum I can run is half a K. Yeah, I know it's laughable. But I had that in my mind. So what happened? We had COVID, lockdown, gyms closed. So the only option I had was to run, to keep my fat loss at a certain level. So I started running. But I couldn't keep up my transformation just by running half a K. So what I did, I set myself targets. I said, I'm going to do half a K today. I'll do 750 meters tomorrow. I'll do 1K next week. So for every week, I kept on going up and up. And before I even realized, I was doing 5K every day. Just in a span of it. I trained myself in a span of about 2 weeks. So it didn't take me long. But what helped me is I unblocked that problem from my brain. Brain is the most powerful organ in your body. So remove any blockages you have. You can do everything. I'll come more and I'll discuss more on what I mean by do everything. There are obviously certain limitations. There are ways to do everything. But please remember, you can do everything. As far as you ask your brain to tell your body that you can do this. So remember, unblock any blockages you have in your brain. That's rule number 1. Now, coming back to rule number 2 is to set yourself a target. Why that's important? So I've been paying gym membership since I was in my teens. So for the last 25 years or so, I've paid for gym membership. Realistically, I didn't see gains which I saw in the last 3 years. Why? Because you come out of college, you go to gym for about half an hour just to exercise. I started working, went to gym during my lunch break for an hour, out of which 10 minutes to walk, 5 minutes to change, 5 minutes or to 10 minutes for cardio, push weights for about 20 minutes, and then take a shower and go back to work, another 10 minutes. So, not sure if that makes 60 minutes, but you get the gist. So I've done that for years. Didn't see results. And by the way, by paying gym membership, I looked something like that. Yeah, I know. I'm not obese, but still overweight. shouldn't be like that. So, what was missing? I did not have a target. And I'll talk more about that in my transformation video, where I had few targets and I achieved them. Sometimes I didn't achieve them. But each time you achieve a target, then you set the next one. Now, one thing which is very, very, very important is to have an achievable target. Target should be very, very simple, but shouldn't be that hard that you cannot achieve. Because the problem with that is, I know, you can push yourself and you should always work harder, but the problem of setting incomplete or inachievable targets is that if you can't achieve them, you get demoralized and you stop workout. So set yourself targets, but achievable targets in small increments. I train a few guys at the gym. They're young lads who'll always come up and say, oh, by the way, yes, we know we're obese, but sorry to say that, but we want to get down to 10% body fat. When I ask them why you want to get down to 10% body fat, they never have an answer. Everybody wants to have fat loss and muscle gain at the same time. Doesn't work. Any YouTube video which tells you you can lose your fat and gain muscle at the same time, it's impossible. Yes, you can do that in small increments, but not at a massive scale where I lost about 13 kgs. I couldn't believe, or I shouldn't accept, that I can lose fat without losing any muscle or actually gaining muscle. Doesn't work. So you set yourself targets, small targets, and then you can achieve them. Now, rule number 3 is you should always know your body. Everybody is different. There is no rules. There is nothing which fits everybody. You see loads of information on YouTube, in magazines, your research, internet. Nothing fits everybody. So, learn your body. Over the next few weeks and months, I'll show you what worked for me, what mistakes I did. That does not mean you have to follow exactly what I did. You're starting at a completely different body fat level, at a completely different dieting habits. I had certain dieting habits, I had certain nutrition habits, I had certain bad habits, certain good habits. I have certain gene limitations. Everybody has gene limitations. Everybody is built different. So, don't blindly follow anybody. See what suits you. See what suits your lifestyle. And above all, learn what your body is trying to tell you. In my journey, I've pretty much injured both my wrists, my elbow, my knee. Why? Because I did not listen to my body. When I started listening, all of that improved. Now I'll talk more about that, how it's improved, what I did. But rule number 3, listen to your body. That's very, very, very important. Rule number 4, nutrition. Now I know I've used word diet and nutrition in my previous videos, or even this video, to be honest. Why I'm saying nutrition and not diet? A lot of people think diet is that you're doing dieting, you're eating less. No. Diet is all about what you're eating. That's why I prefer to use the word nutrition, because that gives a positive message. It's not about how little or how more you eat. It's all about what you eat. And more importantly, it's about knowing what you eat. So a very, very, very powerful word. Know what you eat. Most of us, for example, when I started my transition, my brother-in-law started his transition as well. And he was counting his calories, his macros, and he was eating everything. I was eating pretty much just high protein diet. And I'll go into macros and what I was eating and what mistakes I've done. And I must admit, I did it wrong. I achieve results, I achieve better results, but with a lot of hard work. So that's why rule number 2, set yourself targets. Because if your target is just to do fat loss, it's a completely different path. If your target is to transform yourself, like it was my target, then you follow a completely different path. So it's a combination of all of these 4. Anyway, so back to nutrition. It's all about knowing what you're eating. When I did my journey, I thought carbs are bad, fat is bad. I've realized later on that carbs are not that bad, and fats, you should always have good fats in your diet. So, always count what you eat. Try to use any application, you don't have to pay for it. Try any free app, try any free calculator, but always track what you eat, not just your calories. Track your macros, how much percentage of those calories needs to come from carbs, from protein, from fat. You need all 3. It's not that if you remove all carbs or all fat, you'll be brilliant. No, you need all 3 to function. Body needs its nutrition to function. I'm not a nutritionist. The calculations I'll show you are from my experience. What works for me. So, rule number 3, know your body. Build yourself a nutrition plan, but always remember rule number 3, know your body. So, guys, thank you very much for listening to me. I'll see you in the next video. Again, my humble request, follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit notification bell, and please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, let me know what else you want to know, what more information you need, then I'll include in my follow-up videos. Thank you very much, stay tuned.